What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. Today, we're going to be talking some more about Ethereum treasury companies and in particular Ethzilla. As some of you may know, Ethzilla tanked 30% after a pipe offering. We're going to be talking about, is it time to panic? Is it time to double down? Is it an opportunity? So we're going to be discussing the pipe offering that sent Ethzilla down to the depths, my honest thoughts about these Ethereum treasury companies, including BMNR and SBET. And most importantly, a discussion about the trading psychology, mindset, and my strategy that's going to help me navigate the wild, volatile world of Ethereum treasury companies. So this week, Ethzilla got hit with a pipe bomb, issued a pipe offering, which is a dilutive event, crushed the stock, helped raise money to buy some Ethereum. This shouldn't shock anybody. They did tell you ahead of time. I bought my Ethzilla before I realized that, but that's okay. And I'll tell you why at the end of this video, why it didn't even hurt when it happened. And it's kind of expected. That's what these companies do. That's kind of the whole point of these things. Now, BMNR is a little bit different than Ethzilla. It's trying to raise 20 billion in Ethereum. They're on a completely different scale. So they trade at a greater premium to NAV. They also have greater liquidity, which helps. So they're a top 10 traded stock in the stock market. Ethzilla is still trying to build credibility. So it looks risky right now, Ethzilla, but it could follow BMNR's path if Thiel activates his network. Check out my other video if you want more information about his network that he could tap to raise more money. So let's talk about how I'm approaching these ETH plays. And first, let's talk about my honest thoughts and feelings about these crypto treasury companies. So I'm of two minds on this. On the one hand, I think it's a scam. On the other hand, I don't think it matters. So, and I'm still going to buy some. So let's talk about the first thing. I think the entire concept of this is on shaky foundation. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to risk sounding ignorant. I know the rant that's coming is going to sound a lot like how I spoke about crypto 2-3 years ago when I didn't fully understand it. But I'm still going to make the rant because I've had some time to think about it and I still feel this way. And so I'm going to try to articulate why that is. So the whole concept of these treasury companies and investing in the treasury companies is that I'm going to buy shares of a company who's going to take the money that I gave them to buy Ethereum. Then when the Ethereum goes up, I'm going to get a premium to the net asset value, premium to the Ethereum that they bought. And the premium to MNAV, there's a whole formula that's going to tell me how much leveraged more Ethereum returns that I'm going to get. And if I follow that formula closely, then I know when it's overvalued, I know when it's undervalued, so on and so forth. And you can dig through all this math to figure out what the right price to buy it at is and when to sell it and all this. But the one sticking point, the one problem that I've been having with all this is not the how it works or what's going on, but why? Why should I expect some sort of premium? Why is it that why do they get a premium at all? Why is it that I give you money, company, and then you dilute me, and then somehow the shares of that company trade at a premium to the thing that they're buying? Like, it sounds to me like it's worse than buying the Ethereum, doesn't it? Because I can get diluted all the time. And actually that's the whole point of it. They're going to dilute me so that they can buy. See, this is my sticking point. I also think that in the formula for how much premium I should be getting to the amount of the Ethereum or crypto, whatever it is, that the company is buying, one key ingredient that no one's talking about is what I am going to term the lead singer premium, the frontman premium. For MicroStrategy, you have Michael Saylor. And I think that MicroStrategy doesn't have as much of a premium to its NAV without Michael Saylor. Same thing can be said about BMNR. They have Tom Lee. Tom Lee's the GOAT. I love Tom Lee. And I think that part of the premium is Tom Lee himself. You trust Tom Lee. well, I'll give Tom Lee my money and he'll be really good at buying Ethereum for me. I think in the subconscious of some people, that's what it is. And so it pushes the valuation of it up. Same with Ethzilla. Peter Thiel, that guy's a genius. He made Palantir and he's got this network and all this stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna give him my money and he's gonna make me more money because he's gonna buy Ethereum so good. And Metaplanet just brought in Eric Trump because I think they realized they need a front man. And Justin Lubin for SharpLink Gaming, like he's not really that big of a rock star, but he's kind of like a if you know, you know. And so I think he like attracts, like that's why SBET attracts like the value investor. if you dare call anyone investing in an Ethereum treasury company a value investor, but like people that are concerned with those valuations, they like SBET because of that. I don't know. It just reminds me of NFTs. It just reminds me of meme coins. It reminds me of just speculation. And to a degree, we are buying a speculative vehicle it's like speculation on speculation. And doesn't it feel like 2021? We'll get to that. But I just think that this ends badly. I think when the music ends, these companies are going to be the ones that get cracked the hardest. But hey, Peter Thiel and Tom Lee are going to have their Ethereum, right? They're going to get theirs. Good for them. So, but on the other hand, I don't think any of this matters. I think that, I still think that these are the last companies on planet Earth I would short because they're just going to become, I think they already are because there's such a buzz about them, but I think they will be just an absolute magnet for irrational exuberance. And I think that Peter Thiel and Tom Lee are counting on this. They know that this is going to happen. And so that's why they're going to dilute you whenever shares get extended. They're literally extracting bum greed into wealth. It's actually fascinating. That's why I'm still investing in these things, because I think that there's upside. But I'm not kidding myself. I'm not going to kid myself into thinking that it's because of some like magic formula that like Tom Lee's just going to buy the Ethereum so good that I'm going to get 1.6 times the return or something. I think that you're counting on greed. Basically, you're betting on greed. No different than investing in a cigarette company. You're going to invest in addicts. You know addicts exist. Cigarette company is going to make money on those addicts. You can profit on that. That's my mindset. That's what my thesis. That's my thesis on these. And so that might sound stupid, but hey, that's how I'm thinking about these things. Now, let's talk about 2021. I think that we're about to enter into a 2021 type market. And we even had a COVID crash into lowering interest rates. Like, I think that we could get a version of that, but I think it's going to be an extended version of that because, for one, we're not in a presidential election year. I think there's some reasons for it, but I think that we could have like a 2021 type year for the next 2 to 3 years. I really do think that it could happen. And I know there's some danger to saying it's different this time, but that's what my gut's telling me. I believe that crypto is going to launch. It feels like a layup. And I think that this speculative fervor is going to push these treasuries like to the moon. And so ultimately, I think if you pay close attention to the fundamentals, the MNAV and the news, you will have an edge. You'll be able to know when not to buy, when to sell, when to buy some more. But none of that is really changing how I am trading this, because at the end of the day, I think it's so volatile. Like, you should just expect to lose your ass for a period of time on these things. And like, that's the price of admission to getting crazy potential returns. So, and we're going to get into how I'm going to navigate that in just a second. But at this point, you might be asking yourself or wondering, well, if you think it's so ridiculous, why are you invested in it? And why are you talking about it? So number one, I do think that there's an immense amount of volatility and opportunity, and I'd like to participate in that just in case I'm wrong. Unlike a lot of big egos in this space, while I might have opinions, my strongest opinion is that all of us are ignorant and biased to some degree. And I would like to hedge my own stupidity. A lot of people do this by diversifying and buying safe stuff just in case their like high flyers don't turn out. But I actually like to do this on the other side too, I like to buy potential super high flyers just in case. Just in case that they really work really well. Bears tend to make less money than bulls. So like if I find myself like in this situation having a bearish inclination towards something that a lot of people are mega bullish about, well, maybe I'm wrong, like that's kind of how, so I like to hedge a little bit in that way. Number two, I talk about this because it's fun. It's fascinating. If I made a video about Meta, like you guys probably wouldn't click on it. It's important to, I want to add value basically. Like my whole point of this YouTube channel is I'm trying to add value to the space. And if I'm going to add the most amount of value to the most amount of people, I got to go to where the people are. And so for this last section, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to discuss what needs to be discussed for the type of people that are attracted to this sort of investment and just share with you my personal mindset. And, it's a tool that you can add to your tool chest, and if you don't like the tool, you can throw it out. So now let's talk about who do these investments attract. They attract people, speculators, people that they love volatility. I love volatility, but inside of that category of person, there are two main, two sides of the coin. There are the degenerate NFT and meme coin investors that are chasing impossible gains. The type of people who like the volatility of Ethereum puts them to sleep. So they need more. Give me more volatility. These people are gamblers. And these are the people that are going to like trade up the stock. They're going to push the price action of these things to irrational levels. And then number two, the type of person I like to think that I am and that I would like to help everybody become is the responsible speculator who understands the right way to approach these types of investments. My goal is to help us kind of get into this category. So how am I doing that? How am I investing in these ETH treasury companies? Number one, BM&R, I feel, has the strongest frontman premium. Tom Lee, you have the most liquidity there. Wall Street trusts this man. They know he's right all the time. And if he's going to spend his time with a project like this, it's probably going to work. And so I think it's going to attract the most amount of investment. And I think it's going to obtain the highest level of premium. So for me, in my ETH treasury positions, BM&R is the core. But I also think that Peter Thiel is just this unstoppable oligarch juggernaut that you cannot bet against. So that's why I have a little bit of Ethzilla. And it's not like I think that Joseph Lubin is going to not buy the Ethereum real good. I just don't have any SBET at the moment because I'm not trying to get, I'm not doing this like a value guy or trying to approach it that way. This is a gamble. I'm not going to kid myself into thinking it's not. And so that's why my position sizing is so small. So that is the biggest takeaway that I want you to take away from this is position size. You got to keep your position size on something this volatile, small. The temptation is going to be there to like go all in because then I can like 5x my net worth or something. But you can also like, divide by 0 your net worth with this stuff too. And a little goes a long way. So I have a small position size in this, and I expect, this is the mindset that you should have going into these, is expect to get wrecked. Expect to get wrecked for a period of time. If you must invest in something this volatile, I expect, like when Ethzilla went down, I see like minus 30% on my position. I go, oh yeah, that's about right. Like, yeah, okay, that's why I'm in this. Because I want to see it go, whoa. Like that's the point of it. So you can't put enough into this where like you're going to feel sick if you're down 30% or 50%. Like, so your position size needs to be, it's got to be accordingly. Okay. Now, someone commented on my last video, like lost my life savings. I think they were joking. I hope they were joking. But like you can't lose your life savings on something like this if you don't invest your entire life savings into it. Now, yes, like the risk reward, there's a lot of reward potentially, a lot of opportunity, but to me that just means that, I don't have to risk a whole lot to make a statistically significant difference in my portfolio. You see, if you keep your position size under 1% or 1% or less in this type of play, and it 10x's, Now this thing is like 10% of your portfolio. That is a huge gain for a tiny amount of risk. And if I lose 100% of that 1%, the rest of my portfolio can do what it's doing, and it can continue to crush the market. And like, okay, that was my, that's just the price of admission to diversify and potentially hedge my upside. Like I could potentially get a ton of upside, but at least I'm participating. So that is my mindset: is expect to get wrecked, but that's the price of admission. When I saw Ethzilla go down 30-something%, my current position I think is down like 40%. It was this big to begin with. Like, it doesn't even matter. And I added to it. I go, oh, okay. Like I watch some videos. I like do a little research, and it's like, oh, now it's closer to the MNAV that it's supposed to be at. Okay, all right, I'll add a little bit. But the reason why I just dove in isn't just because my name is Risky Ryan, but it's also because I know that this is the name of the game. There's going to be swings like that. So I might as well just throw my money in. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to miss out. The whole point of this is not trying to miss out. Like, when you're investing in something this hot, like, there's an element of FOMO there. But as long as your position size is small enough, like, you'll survive it. And so, and all of this is just going to be a bump in the road if my thesis plays out, where this thing is just going to like absolutely launch. $5, $3, $7 for Ethzilla. I don't think it matters. I think it's going to $30, and it doesn't matter where you bought: $5, $4, $3, whatever, right? So that's my expectations. But that's also, my strategy is I'm not betting the farm. I don't need this to work. Most of my money is in like AMD and Shark Ninja and Meta and CrowdStrike and Amazon, SoFi. Like, I've got most of my money in things that aren't just because Tom Lee's going to buy the Ethereum real good, So, but like, I think it is a worthwhile investment. That's why I'm involved. That's why I'm spending time talking about it. And that's why, and also, like, I know that some of you out there might feel the temptation to go all in. And I think if I helped anybody out there stop themselves from doing that and go, it's okay to do like this much of my portfolio in this, because if it does do that, then, then it'll make a big difference. But if it goes down 50%, which it probably will before it does that 10x, it's okay. It's not even going to make you lose sleep. So that's the way to approach these very volatile assets, in my humble opinion. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think these things are scams? Do you think they're legitimate vehicles? Do you think it's something else? Let me know down below. I'm sure I've upset people, but and maybe some people agree with me. But those are my thoughts, and hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Big thank you and shout out to all the new subscribers. We're sitting around 270. The next big milestone is 500. So you guys hitting the like button has been helping the channel grow. So thank you so much for that. Hit subscribe, hit the like, and until next time, Risky Ryan out.